Okay, everyone, we're here in the clouds. What does that mean? That means we're successfully experiencing life in a positive light. And what I kind of want to talk about is now what? Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm making myself a salad. So I thought I'd make myself a salad and tell you a little, because like in my mind, I'm like communicating to myself about what's coming up. And what I'm experiencing is the way these people live their lives. And it's not a contribution to society. It's, first of all, first and foremost, they got to this place because they validated themselves through the way they look, used men and other people around them with the skill they learned as their parents told them how attractive they were. Whether it was their parents, whether it was the fact they had money like Paris Hilton, whatever that was inside them that got them to this place of that they were better than other people, they never did any work to get themselves to where they were at. It was handed to them. So they don't really understand work ethic. Even people who go and do these bodybuilding shows, I would assume, don't struggle. They live in a cloud. I'm like an exception to a lot of rules, by the way. What's coming up for me is that this is the Democrat clean energy conversation that they're trying to create, but they're dumbing down society into an unrealistic future. Because there's a lot of people out there who are pretty aware that they don't like Paris Hilton, and then they block us and ban us so that only people who like Paris Hilton are seen. Although Paris Hilton is not a contribution to society. She didn't do anything in her existence to grow a child in her stomach to give birth to Phoenix or London. She's done nothing when it comes to business except for parade around because her last name is Hilton. Now, what I'm talking to also is the energy that comes along with a silver spoon up your rear end. Because as someone who has the access to helping millions of people get out of debt, because let's be real, everybody makes mistakes in life, but they don't take accountability for anything that they do. They get you to take accountability for everything they do, and then they run off to the playground and make a dance video. It's like for example, getting a platform, hiring a team, and then getting a script, then making videos, and then the videos just go viral and everybody likes what you're up to, even though what you're up to is a demise of society and gets you validated for whatever you think that you're creating, which is only about ego and selfishness. Then they push buttons on people because they get bored. So the normal thing and the normal way to exist in this space would be, what's my next project so I can help other people? However, all they think about is how am I going to get my rocks off of? Because they've got the diamond, they've got the clout, they've got the fame. They don't have the education nor the sustainability factor to create a liking of who they are because they got there unethically and with no integrity. It's very similar to what we're seeing with politics in the Democrat circuit. They're only using politics as a way to get fame and clout versus doing what their due diligence is, which is to help the people. And they're getting placed in these positions based on knowing who they are. Meaning, can you imagine if Ben Crumb becomes a politician? Can you imagine if Kim Kardashian decides that she wants to be a politician? Can you imagine these spoiled, rotten people who've been, and even The Rock, hoity-toity, living in laps of luxury with no troubles in their life? And that's why we're in this mess, to be honest with you. Now, what's coming up for me also is that I'm literally in the space. Right now, I'm kind of talking over it because I don't feel like it's a contribution. So let me step back into it for a second. Let me turn the light on. It's not a contribution, folks. So when I think about work ethic, I think about mowing the lawn in a 96-degree day. Who wants to do that? Some of you do, but you're the contributions to society. These folks will hire someone and then take credit for it. And then they'll say that they're honored and grateful that you're working for them, but that's just to get you validated for that little bit of validation, and then barely pay you. So when we watch Taylor Swift on a stage where she's thanking her crew for traveling and driving, the question you want to ask yourself, did she pay them accordingly? She's a billionaire. She's charging $8,000 for concert tickets. And where's all that money going? And did she pay her staff more money? Or did she just using that as a form to validate herself? Like she's like she's a star. While she tells you how wonderful she is. See, they don't really like me in their frequency because I make them work. I call them out and I don't put up with bullshit. Because I believe that you can develop your senses to be a good person and still deliver if you're a good person. Meaning what I was thinking is, well, what's next in the agenda to get more information to you all so that you can start the pathway for success for yourselves, but you have to do the work. And the work isn't as hard as you think it is, although for those of you who are evil and bad behaving, it won't happen for you, but that's who currently owns that frequency of what you would consider lightness, because they don't have any struggle. They don't struggle, they just get everything for free. And then they take their money and they hold on to it. So when you watch someone like Jennifer Aniston try to explain to an audience about how she manifests shit for herself, I've told you guys this before. All she has to do is ask for it. Although it has changed a little for her. You can tell on her face that she's an alcoholic or she's struggling in some way, shape, or form. Especially since Chandler died. I'm using Ken's Italian dressing, balsamic. I'm not sure how I feel about this energy. Let me see. I'm just doing some squats. I'm about to go walking in the heat. They don't like to feel hot. Well, I'm sorry. I like strenuous work. I like battling and winning, which I always do. See, what Charli D'Amelio likes is no resistance, and then uses her power to take out people who resist her. Are you understanding what I'm telling you? Meaning she's wrong in her entire existence. You may or may not have, well, I'm not even gonna go with her. I'll talk personally about my own content. I personally have value content to educate audiences on how to be better at business, to bring value to audiences. Yet you as an audience are being industry pushed into watching Charli D'Amelio, and then she operates on a level that's very similar to this. And you like the path of least resistance. You think that's the way to live, and that's not how to live. That's actually not a real life. It's actually a very dark life. But you can't, they don't know real life anymore. They live in this weird reality. They don't laugh. They repeat a lot of what they say over and over again because they don't have versatility in conversation. We're just going to let Gary come and hang out with me for just a minute. We're not talking about him because he's always growing as a person. He likes to be in the dirt. That's why he says he likes to be in the dirt. The dirt is work, and we like to work. He's always looking to see. He's like, we're working, we're looking, we're seeing what you value, we're seeing what works, we're seeing what's ethical and moral, and then we're seeing in ways to not what you need. Sometimes what you want. But sometimes not what you want, but what you need. And that's how you keep ethics and morals still in the balance of the ball. To keep the world consistent in ethics and morals, you can flip-flop it. And if you know how to maneuver in this world of ethics, see, they only give you what you want, but you don't want isn't what you think you want. That's their game. You think you want to be like Paris Hilton because they've convinced you through convincing of salesmanship and through the Illuminati effect that you want that lifestyle. But I'm assuring you that Phoenix doesn't want that life. He wants to live in this life. I'm not even sure if he likes where we are in energy here at the house. It makes him upset. Although I can shift it in a way that makes him comfortable. And then instead of competing in politics, is the way they operate in politics is competition through popularity contests. But you don't have to like the politician. You have to respect them, know that they're going to uphold the law and order of the nation, and then you have to vote based on who is upholding the law. And you're not always going to like what they come up with as a plan, but that's because it's not just about you, it's about everybody. And that's why we're failing in politics, is because the Democrats are choosing the elite to make it all about what benefits them, while homeless people starve on the streets and they open up the border to to migrants. We're not protected. We're not cared for by our leader, known as Biden. And then they've weaponized the judicial system against Trump. Why? They weaponized it against Trump because he upholds the law and he protects the people and he exposes the elite that are operating unethically and illegally. So you want to understand that the elite that we're speaking to isn't the people from Georgia. We're talking about the people from California who are working in movies and industry. And in order to stay in that circuit, you have to participate in that type of diabolical nonsense. Otherwise, they will do weird stuff to you that you all don't need to know about. It's very crazy. So weaponizing the judicial system is what we're watching with Donald Trump. Because if you really were able to step outside of your narrative, because what they do is they make you feel a certain way, and then you need to blame somebody, and then they smile at you. And you're like, well, I can't blame them. They're just so nice. And then Donald Trump says, fake media. And you say, well, I don't like him. He just said fake media. And that one's so nice. That they would never do that. That's a code. And then you get really angry if you're not in the loop of what's going on here. You get angry. And so then you get angry at the audience for not seeing the truth. And then you got the people that are operating it saying, I'm super friendly. I would never do that. I'm upholding the law and order. But the reality is you're not. And that's the hard part to see. So what's happening is they're weaponizing the judicial system. They're weaponizing the media. They're weaponizing influencers, where the influence space is an opportunity for everyone to succeed. However, the greed mongrels and the communism of it is controlling your minds into a belief system that you honestly don't believe in. You're all very, very angry and very abusive. And you're using weird tactics to fuel businesses or your persona versus acting like real people. It's not interesting to conversate with you when you're constantly trying to make yourself right, but you're only 17 years old. You're only 12 years old. You're only 15 years old. You're only 28 years old, and you think that's how to live a life? That's not how to live a life. I'm going to tell you that right now. Then you're robbing people who are already successful. Some are good, some are bad. It's like the titles of their talent so that you can fuel your own ego, but you're not talented. And then these people create facade personas in their mind that they're talented, but they're not talented. So they step into a fake reality of illusion, but then everybody around them sees that they're able to sell. You as an audience agree to it, and then those around you are agreeing to it by showing up in photographs. And then everybody's working in a Ponzi scheme because the result is they deliver on absolutely nothing except for the exchange of money, while you as an audience bust your ass every day. It's 10 times harder to go to work every day because of the way influencers operate. It's called a Ponzi scheme. They don't deliver on anything of value, although it occurs as if they are. My content is the exception. Gary Vaynerchuk's content is the exception. Donald Trump is the exception. Donald Trump Jr. is the exception. Yet we're the ones, me and the Donald Trump section. Gary Vaynerchuk is still undercover operating with this unethical group to uncover the Ponzi scheme. Do you think if I walked up to the Ponzi scheme and said, "Are you a Ponzi scheme?" would the Ponzi scheme say, "Yes, we're a Ponzi scheme"? No, they wouldn't. They would kick you out. That's why we had to bring undercover ops with different celebrities included, by the way. Because these people were tired of this nonsense because it's escalated into more than you even know in association to what Obama has brought to the circuit of not only media, but also in Hollywood. He is Pakistani. He is a Hamas supporter, and he is hoping to bring what he calls clean energy. And you all, as Americans, are assisting him. The reality is you are going to wake up and you're going to realize how you've been gotten by Obama. And if you don't do it sooner than later, it's going to be too late. And I'm talking about for the globe. That's a circle. Some of you will never, ever come out of what you've done, by the way. But that's for your own discovery. That's how evil you actually are. Are you evil? That's for you to discover. Anywho, that's all I have on this video. I'm not sure which label I'm going to be placing because I have all these. I actually have tons of pre-made YouTube videos. I just happened to make a salad and started thinking about some things that I wanted to create for you in education to bring awareness into the corruption ring that's occurring at this time.